Honorable Men Discord. What is the Golden Dome and why should we care? Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strap, and never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and as always, if you have something you'd like to talk about, drop a comment. So let's get straight to it. What is the Golden Dome? So this is something that President Trump was looking into for some time, and now he's implementing it and getting it started. But here I have Fox 35 Orlando to speak on it, and then we'll get into it after.
Trump wants a massive missile dome covering our country. Back in May, he announced plans to build a Golden Dome.
Now a company from the Space Coast is making it happen. Fox 35's Esther Bauer shows us the new expansion at L3 Harris.
The defense company based here on the Space Coast is now helping build the Golden Dome, which is a massive new system President Trump wants to use to shield the country and keep missiles from getting in. This time lapse shows a $100 million expansion that's now complete at L3 Harris.
L3 Harris is literally at the cutting edge. They are leading this fight. They're expanding their operations here in Brevard County, specifically in Palm Bay.
Palm Bay will now be part of a new national defense system the president announced over the summer.
Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles, even if they are launched from other sides of the world, and even if they are launched from space.
The Golden Dome would be similar to the Iron Dome Israel already has.
What happened in Israel, that Iron Dome that they have was so successful in holding off the bad guys, so to speak.
Mike Herodopoulos says the U.S. Dome is needed to strengthen our country, promote peace through strength, and shield the nation if needed.
And the Golden Dome is our protective layer, God forbid, whether it be from a rogue country or an all-out war.
L3 Harris says the 94,000 square foot facility will produce next-generation satellites that will identify, track, and defend against hypersonic and advanced missile threats.
One of the most urgent capabilities that will be produced is the constellation of satellites to detect and track hypersonic ballistic missiles across the globe.
It'll also boost the economy with new jobs coming to the coast.
That make the Space Coast a place where you don't have to leave the community anymore to get high-paying jobs.
And Trump has said he'd like to have this Golden Dome up and running by the end of his second term. Reporting in Palm Bay, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
All right, so my immediate thought is, with the other countries warring, I don't see anything wrong with it. And I like how they at the end mention it creates jobs. Of course, you got to sell it to the people. So my immediate thought, my immediate thought again is, why not? Whilst watching other countries go at war, why not? The thing about it, though, that I want us all to take note of is, at the end of the day, we don't have a say in whether or not they make it or they don't make it. What if the country didn't like it? Would that matter? No. Business as usual. Construction will still continue, and they'll still move forward regardless if we like it or not. I'm presenting this episode mainly to just enlighten those that didn't know there was a such thing as a Golden Dome. For those of you that don't necessarily watch the news, particularly because Trump's in office, I think it's important that you even know what's going on, especially something to this magnitude, a project that to this magnitude, such as a Golden Dome. Obviously, they're going to be setting up shop in various locations throughout the country to make it make sense as far as protecting the country as a whole. They said it's going to create jobs, good paying jobs, as the gentleman said. So be it. If it helps create jobs, so be it. And at the end of the day, regardless if you don't like it, again, it's going. It's happening. It's in progress. So it's one of those things. It's a constant reminder that we are, and when I say we, I'm talking about law-abiding citizens, taxpayers. We're just pretty much here to watch the show. We don't really have a say in the production or how the script is going to be written. We're just here to watch the show. And if you ever thought that as a citizen you had a true say in how this thing plays out, no, you don't. You have a very small say in how it plays out, because at the end of the day, you're just going to grab a seat and watch the show, regardless on which side of the aisle you stand for. So I'm not here to say, Republicans are horrible. I'm not here to say Democrats are great. And I'm not here to say Democrats are horrible and Republicans are great. What I am saying is that we're all going to have a seat in the auditorium and watch the show. All right. Right now, with all that's going on in this country, we're all watching the show. We could bicker back and forth about, oh, there he goes again. He's sending out the National Guard to another state and all these different things. But at the end of the day, we're going to watch the show regardless of what we decide to speak about on platforms. We're going to watch the show. All right. This show, I'm going to watch, as you all will. But I'm not against it entirely at first thought. Why? Because we're seeing other countries at war. And who's to say they don't decide to point weapons towards us? Is there propaganda involved in it? Most likely. Most likely, Businesses are getting paid, checks are getting cut, deals are handshakes are happening that, again, the people in the audience are not privy to. We're not privy to any of that. We get information based on what they decide to tell us, period. So if you get caught up in what's said, you're always going to be somewhat ill-informed, because we don't really know what's being said behind closed doors. We get the presentation that's given to us. What's your thoughts on this Golden Dome? My thoughts is, it is what it is. And if it, in fact, at the end of the day, helps employ people that need jobs and it protects the country, if God forbid the day comes where they'll have to use it, then I'm all for it. But if it's something that at some point in time, God forbid, is infiltrated and it's used against us, then God help us all. As most presidents always say, God help us all. But that's my thoughts on this. I don't really have anything else to speak on in terms of this. Again, I just wanted those of you that don't necessarily watch news pertaining to initiatives of President Trump. I decided to do this episode to just keep you abreast to what's going on. But that's all I have in this episode. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next episode. Stay honorable.